But yeah, hello everybody, SirMonkeySuit, or Zappy here, back with my hero. We're back to the arc, like the main arc thing that was going on before we took a week hiatus to deal with the promotional movie stuff. You know, which was alright, it was fine, but it's nice to get back to the normal story. So, we are in the middle of the provisional license exam, and we're on the second part, the latter half, which involves rescue. So yeah, we obviously, like, all of the people who managed to get through, which is the 100, I think. Yeah, 100 people, 100 students are all going out and getting points somehow. We don't know how that accumulated as of right now. But there have been test villains that have shown up, which is led by Gang Orca, and he has a bunch of henchmen along with him. So I don't know if there's going to be like other high-ranking heroes acting like villains in this, or it's just going to be Gang Orca and that's it. Because I feel like it's just Gang Orca and a bunch of henchmen. I didn't say anybody else, so. But it's gonna be cool to see actually Gang Orca do something, because I haven't seen him fight yet. Or he was mentioned in the beginning, like relatively early on in this season, like episode 8 or something like that, or 7. So it'll be nice to see what he can actually do, or if he's just going to be one of those things that like Sue can do anything a frog can, or like fucking what's his name, the bloody seal guy can do anything a seal can. We'll have a look though, we'll see. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. Other than, like, you know, Deku kind of went in immediately acting like it was a negative situation instead of reassuring the people who are like the victims, which is what he should be doing. So yeah, I feel like obviously Deku's had that sort of mentality instilled in him because of the situations that have happened since he joined UA. Like ever since he's joined, it's always been, you know, there's always been problems and situations that have arisen, and it's always been like a bad situation. So I think it's almost been instilled in Deku's brain that like as soon as something goes wrong, his main, like, he immediately goes to some, oh shit, this is not good. You know what I mean? So it's yeah, I mean, he was schooled on it by a little guy who apparently is I guess is older than them, but it looks like a fucking child. I'm pretty sure they dressed him up specifically because of that. But yeah, we also have Inasa, who has a family problem with Todoroki. I guess there's something along the lines of maybe Inasa's father had something with Todoroki's father, and I don't know. But Inasa has some innate problem with it. I just think it's a stupid issue. It really is. Like, oh, you know what I mean? My father has a problem with your father, therefore I hate you. It's stupid, isn't it? It's ridiculous. But we'll see where that goes, if that ever. I'm sure it will. Yeah, and we have Bakugo saving people as well. I'm pretty sure he'll be happy that that there's been villains that have actually shown up, because that's Bakugo's prerogative. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about though, so we're just going to get in episode 21 and see where this goes. So let's go. It's always fucking cliffhangers, isn't it? Just comes with the job though, it just comes with the job. But you know what makes it worse is that I know that the sub is 2 weeks ahead. They've already seen it and I'm just stuck fucking behind. It's so annoying, like, knowing that the next 2 episodes I could watch if I wanted. But obviously I can't. Fucking, it's so fucking painful. Okay. The dude said, like, what, the points were based on, like, or they were scored on 2 merits. So there was, yeah, but I figured they were some, I don't know, maybe if they start at 100 and then they're specifically losing points. If that's 1 merit, maybe the second merit is something he didn't specify, which was you could actually gain points again. So it's possible that Todoroki and Inasa actually went below 50 and then came back up maybe for that improvised attack. If that's the case. But I just feel, because of the way the point system works, about how it starts at like the most you could get. At least that's what they said. But if you can gain points back, maybe you can go above. But let's just say, if like hypothetically, obviously, right? So you start at the points that you can, like, that's as high as you can get. The only thing you can do is lose points, alright? Let's say that hypothetically, if that is what it is. What if a hero just didn't do anything? Because I only thought of that after seeing Bakugo, and I'm like, well, Bakugo didn't do anything. He did, like, nothing, did he? He didn't even fight the villains. Because if the Public Safety Commission are focusing primarily on, like, what people are doing that's bad, like, obviously doing nothing would be considered bad, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting, like, hypothetical if that's the case, you know, because I'm not sure about that one. So, all right, from the top. So the national police are the ones that sort of thought about what the examination process should be, based upon the fact that, you know, the hole that All Might's left can't be filled by just one person, so that they're doing it to group heroes together to hopefully combine that, and then, you know what I mean. So yeah, I imagine that was the Public Safety Commission as well, like in that, like, boardroom. I imagine that's the same people, because I was wondering at the start when they were just talking, I was like, is this like government shit? Because I've been wanting to see things from their point of view for a while, like the government and stuff, because obviously people know my issue with, like, the law thing and stuff. So I wanted to get a something from their perspective, but oh well. I thought it was interesting that, like, Eraserhead was all about, like, this might be a bit, like, tough. And I'm surprised by that, because Eraserhead's, like, out of everyone, he's the one to actually push the students, like, far, you know what I mean, and push them beyond that, like, sort of limit. So for him to say that it's, you know what I mean, it might be too tough is actually quite surprising, to be fair. But yeah, so Gang Orca has Oricanus. So basically, you can do anything an Orca can do, and he has ultrasonic, like an ultrasonic sort of sound that can paralyze. Apparently, the ultrasonic thing is so powerful it can actually retract, like, the wind from Inasa and the fire from Todoroki. I guess it's all vibrations at the end of the day. I liked how Shindo actually said that, you know, because of the nature of my quirk, I'm actually used to vibrations and stuff, so it didn't affect me as heavily as it might have done somebody else. I like that kind of stuff. That's the niche things that this show really does well. Is, like, it picks up on the niche stuff, you know, the very small details, which I really like. Here's the thing, right? I mean, Todoroki mentioned it, like, later on in the episode, but it's like, why is it that Midoriya's always the one? Why does he always have to be the one to put everyone in check? You know what I mean? Because I personally, I don't want Midoriya to be that one for everybody. Well, he can be it for everybody at one time, but I don't want it at the detriment of Todoroki's character, because we've already had it once, and that was in the sports festival, obviously, when they were fighting each other. You know what I mean? And I like, I want them to be able to figure out these problems by themselves, or, you know what I mean? Because I was thinking through that whole ordeal, like, Todoroki, you're responding to him. You're basically, it's like somebody, it's like someone responding to a troll. You know what I mean? I'm not calling Inasa a troll because obviously his hatred and whatnot is, you know, it's a real thing. It's not like, you know, he's just doing it to get a reaction out of him. But like Todoroki's allowing that to happen. And Inasa's the one that initiated this thing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay. When I was saying at the start, it's like I don't understand why you've got a hatred of Todoroki when it's Endeavor that your hatred's aimed at. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, just because you hate somebody, it doesn't mean that you should be hating on their family and shit as well. You know what I mean? Because that's the kind of shit that's so petty. It's like ridiculous. You know what I mean? I was pointing that out. That, you know, I just don't see, like, the reasoning is just completely off. Now it did show like later on in the episode that, you know, Todoroki was, you know what I mean, being a bit dickish in his attitude. You know what I mean? But I think what all that boiled down to was a misunderstanding. I think what it was is Todoroki at that point was like that because of his father. You know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of thing that them two should really bond over, because you know what I mean? Like, they both have that same feeling about Endeavor. You know what I mean? So while they're on the same page, they don't, like, obviously there's no, like, there's no way they could talk about it and figure it out, like, at that point. So obviously when Todoroki's you know, pissed off about like this whole situation with his dad, and he doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? He's basically drawn back into himself. He doesn't want really anything to do with anybody else. You could see that in like season 1 really, and through season 2, basically until Midoriya got through to him in episode 10 of season 2. But you know, like, he's obviously not that point where he's somebody easy to talk to. So obviously with someone who's like incredibly overly enthusiastic like Inasa is, you know what I mean, like, to, you know what I mean, to befriend Todoroki, and Todoroki's like, no, I can't be bothered. You know what I mean? It took for Midoriya to literally probe Todoroki to get him to remember those other times, because the only thing in Todoroki's mind up until that point was just pure hatred of his father. So much so that everything else of his childhood, where like all of his good memories and stuff, had just been, you know, like shoved aside. And when Midoriya obviously probed him, he came out of his shell. He became a lot more empathetic. You know what I mean? It changed from Todoroki focusing like all of his attention on his father, when really he shouldn't have been doing that, because it's you know, it sent him down a path of sort of not really vengeance, but, you know, like, I'm gonna show you just how much fucking better I am than you. And that was what filled Todoroki's entire life. So I can get why, after seeing Todoroki be a bit standoffish and dickish with his attitude, why like Inasa would have a little bit of a problem with him. But I think Inasa doesn't know how to. When I look at like Inasa's character, the only thing I can really think is he doesn't have a turn down. Like, I think he's always at 100, whatever emotion he's feeling. You know what I mean? So obviously he's overly enthusiastic, right? When he likes things, like just bugs running across the floor, but that's so quick. Whoa, these are fucking cool. He's very overly enthusiastic, and I think that measures of whatever emotion that he's feeling. So obviously when it turns to hatred and whatnot, he's 100 of that as well. Whereas I feel like it was like the hatred of Todoroki is not justified. Of Endeavor, I would say so. Of Todoroki though, like, it isn't. But I just think because of the way Inasa's grown up, that he's just 100 all the time. He's always at 11. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's what it is, and all of it just come down to a misunderstanding. So, you know, but like that's the thing is like with Todoroki, you know what I mean? I expect Todoroki to just to deal with the situation at hand and not be dragged in and focusing his attention on what Inasa's doing. You know what I mean? Because at that point, Todoroki doesn't have any like he has no memory of like Inasa or anything like that. Like at this point, Todoroki shouldn't have anything against him, so he shouldn't be focusing all of his attention on what Inasa's doing at that point. You know what I mean? And I'm waiting for Todoroki to just be like, oh, you know what, fuck it, I don't care. Let's just do this and get this over and done with because this isn't the time. But he never did that. And I'm thinking, well, I'm sure Todoroki's supposed to be smart, isn't he? I like, and it ended up it had to be Midoriya to come in again to save him again. You know what I mean? And I think, you know, it might have seemed a bit. I still would have been like a bit peeved by it, like if somebody else had to be the person to do it as well. Like I don't know if Bakugo came across and just like started shouting, like saying, "What the fuck are you doing?" kind of thing. You know, but the fact that it always has to be Midoriya. But I mean, I get it. Like Midoriya's that he's that character, right? He's that character that's supposed to put people in check, you know what I mean, and bring them back to reality, sort of thing. You know, but I feel like if it's if it's done too many times, it's at the detriment to the character. I feel like I don't want Midoriya to always be the one to keep like popping up in these times. I want the characters themselves, like Todoroki, to be strong enough to overcome it himself. You know what I mean? And I feel like, you know what I mean, it's fine to have Midoriya do it like, you know, once for a character, and then if it's at a point where Todoroki is like in the situation that he was just in, to like flash back to that point in season 2 episode 10 when he finally had the change, to look back at that and then be like, oh, this is stupid, and then pull himself back out of it. Like it doesn't. I don't think it always has to be Midoriya to pop up and say something all the time. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's happening a bit too much, especially with mainly with Todoroki at this point. Because obviously you had the thing in season 2, episode 10, and then there was episode 12 where Todoroki was against Bakugo, and Todoroki was just, you know what I mean, he was unsure of himself, and like Midoriya had to speak up again from the stands, right, and tell him to fucking, you know what I mean. And then it's, you know, it's happening again here. So, you know, I kind of hope this is the last time we'll have to do, like, we'll have to have this with Todoroki and Midoriya. You know what I mean? I feel like at this point Todoroki should be strong enough and smart enough to know when things aren't happening at the right time or whatever the fuck. He should be able to pull himself out of it. You know, and I feel like because the show kind of has this feeling of Class 1A as the main character, and it's not just specifically Midoriya, that, you know, I don't feel like it always has to be Midoriya the one to prop people up and get them back on track, because I feel like anybody from Class 1A can do that for anybody else in Class 1A, you know what I mean? I don't feel like it always has to be Midoriya. I get that Midoriya is like, you know, the main protagonist, he's supposed to be the one up at the forefront, but, you know, I don't want it to put it as a detriment to the characters, and I feel like if it happens once more with Todoroki and Midoriya, I feel like that's not good. But yeah. There was a recommendation exam as well. Like, I thought they would just, no, it was recommended that you put these people in. Okay, put them in. Like, it's strange how there's an entrance exam for everybody else, and there's just a recommendation exam for them. You know, because what qualifies you to be able to take a recommendation exam then? If you just have to do an exam anyway, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of a recommendation? I don't know. it's just a bit weird, isn't it? But yeah, they obviously got past it in the end. And here's the thing, like I don't know if it's just because we haven't had a lot of story with Inasa that, you know what I mean, I kind of find it hard to believe that they just like almost like a snap of their fingers. They were like, well, I guess it was Midoriya wanted that probed them, I guess. But I always feel like, you know what I mean, yeah, it's like Todoroki's, because that's what I was expecting Todoroki to do at the very beginning when Inasa showed up, to be like, all right, this isn't the time for it. So I was just waiting for him to break out of that. And then when they both, like, you know what I mean, figured, oh, what the hell are we doing? Really, we're just, you know, we're playing around here when we shouldn't be. I can understand Todoroki doing that, but in Inasa, like, I never felt like he had that. Just because of the fact that I felt like his reasoning for hating Todoroki was very petty, so I never looked at Inasa and thought he's smart enough or has enough about him, like strong enough to, you know what I mean, to have that willpower to just forget that. You know what I mean? Because of the situation that they're in. So I don't know, but the fire tornado thing was cool though. I liked it. You know what I mean? Again, it's another show of this, like, it's another thing that this show has done where it's very creative, like a creative use of people's powers. You know what I mean? Seeing how they work together and stuff. So yeah, Todoroki obviously using both of his ice and the fire at the same time. I know he's done it. He obviously did it once. He did it, you know, in that fight against Midoriya in season 2. No, I'm wondering if this is the point now where he's at that point where he can just do it at any time he wants. You know what I mean? And sort of like almost like you're moving each eye individually kind of thing. He has control of both. He can tell, you know, that kind of what's happening around him. Kind of has that perception. Fucking Sue can camouflage now. What? She's not a chameleon. Unless I'm fucking thinking of some I don't know. I can't remember a frog that can like sort of blend into that. I mean, yeah, they have like certain colours to blend in with their environment, but like Sue was standing on top of a rock, like on top of rubble. She was like almost invisible. How has she done that? Even her training, the only thing I ever saw of her was she was climbing up the side of a cliff. I don't know, how do you train yourself to camouflage? I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Again, like with Bakugo, I feel like he didn't do anything in the rescue. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out next episode about the scores and stuff. I mean, Midoriya's going to be there. Looking at everything that he did, yeah. I mean, the first time he showed up to a kid, he just said, "This looks bad." I mean, that's not going to lose you 50 points, is it? And if it does, that's ridiculous. That was the only bad thing he did. All right, he didn't do anything else like that was noteworthy. That was like, oh god, why did you do that? Like, you know, I think the only characters that should be, you know, we could be looking at. Oh fuck, like. It's Todoroki and Inasa and possibly Bakugo, but I mean, because Bakugo didn't do anything, so, you know, but it would be a mad case, like a mad turn of events if Todoroki was like out of the whole class, like the one to not get a provisional license, you know. And I feel like, and I kind of felt this in the first half of the provisional exam. And like after, like, you know, obviously all of Class 1A got through, and when they all got through, I kind of had this feeling, and then like I'm looking back, and it's like, yeah, all of Class 1A kind of do come as a unit, and that's why I say like the Class 1A is sort of has this feeling of like it's Class 1A that's the main character, and it's not just all about Midoriya. And I kind of feel like for the sake of the story, I feel like we can't just always have Class 1A prevail as a whole unit, you know what I mean? I feel like to have some characters that just have a meh and just like, you know, just not get through, not get a provisional license. I feel like just for the, like, almost like the sake of shock value and just sort of like an interesting turn of events, I kind of want Todoroki to not get a provisional license. You know, because when you look at the class itself, like Todoroki is at the top of the class. You know, like obviously, yeah, Bakugo is like right around there as well, but to have like one at the top of the class, like be like the only one, you know what I mean? I feel like it's more impactful if he's the only one that doesn't get it, you know. And it'll just strengthen Todoroki's, you know, his resolve and his mind, and it'll teach him a lesson. It's like, you know, this was a test, but if you're doing that shit in like reality, you know what I mean? Fucking people's lives at stake, and you're sitting there fucking arguing with something that's so petty it's pointless. You know what I mean? Like, it's not good. You know what I mean? So I feel like, you know, as I like Todoroki, and obviously I want him to do well, you know what I mean, and be happy and all that shit. Like, I feel like just for the sake of the story, it would be a very, very interesting for him to not get it, and for him to be the only one that doesn't get it as well. You know, because it would not only be interesting just for Todoroki's character, just to see, you know, just to see the pendulum shift, like the sort of, not just for like Todoroki's like sort of mental state and being like, I was at the top of the class and how's this happened, but also for like, you know, the not so like the not so great students of like 1A, where they're just like totally fucking, they can't believe it that Todoroki's not gotten through. So yeah, it'll just be interesting. But yeah, I think I've yapped on for quite long enough. So yes. Yeah, that's it. So in the description below, I have a link to a bunch of different things, like my Discord, for example. So yeah, I urge everyone to go over the Discord, especially if you want me to react to a certain show, because that's where polls and things start. Also, if you just want to come hang out with me or the community, then you're free to do that as well. A lot of different activities going on there. So yeah, get yourself over and join. My PO box is also in the description below, so if you do want to send me anything at all, you can do with that address there. I'll open it up, whatever it is you send me on camera, and it'll be a nice little addition to the video. But if you don't want me to open it up, just make sure you send me that detail with the package, and I'll make sure not to. And finally, my Patreon. So Patreon, that's obviously the link in the description as well. A bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So, you know, if you, for example, if you're wanting to get early access, that's $5 a month. It's early access tier. You get episodes a week early, and you get 2 extra episodes across every show that I do that's involved with Patreon. So the shows that are involved with Patreon are Psychopaths, you get 4 episodes of those. Suzumiya Haruhi, you get 4 episodes of those. Tokyo Ghoul, you get 4 episodes of that, and Code Geass, you get 4 episodes of that as well. So, you know, across all of those shows, that's 16 episodes every single week. 64 episodes across the entire month, as opposed to the general public that only get 2 episodes every week, you know, so they get like 32 episodes a month. So it's pretty good value for money. So, you know, if you're coming for more reactions from me more frequently, that's what you want to go get. $10 a month, that is the full length. So if you want to see my full unedited reactions to absolutely everything I do, that includes all the shows I just mentioned, plus My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, Re:Zero. Every single thing I do a reaction to gets a full unedited version. So if you want that, that's at $10. $15, that is the exclusive tier. So for that, you get an extra show that I'm currently doing, which is Parasite. All OVAs across all shows will be put into exclusive tier now, so if you want to see any of those, you're going to have to get the exclusive tier. And also when I start doing movies, so obviously along with, like, you know, we're on My Hero now, the first movie that I will do eventually, when I start reacting to them, will be My Hero Academia 2 Heroes. I will react to that. It will be on the exclusive tier though, so if you don't want to watch a reaction to that, that's where you'll have to go in order to get it. $50 a month, that is the elite tier. So for that, you get a choice of a show that you want me to react to, and I will react to it. It will go to the back of the queue of the shows that are already there. I believe there's like about 7 there already, so it might take me a while to get through it. But if you want your show to be reacted to next, if you want to jump the queue, then you've got to have to get the God tier, which is $100. The only rules across those last 2 tiers, God and Elite tier, are that the show must be 150 episodes or less, and it must be a show that I've never seen before. And of course, God and Elite tier, they're both accumulative across every month. So obviously, my Patreon's on a pay monthly basis. So if you pay $100 and get your choice for the show that you want me to react to, and then you pay the second month, you get another choice. Third month, you get another choice. Fourth month, you know, so on and so forth. You get the picture. But yeah, that is all. So thank you everyone for watching that.